सलाम ने फरमाया कि जो असलहे से किसी की तरफ इशारा करे, मुसलमान की तरफ, तो जब तक वो इशारा करता रहेगा फरिश्ते उस पर लानत भेजते रहेंगे। डराने की बहुत सारी शक्लों में से चंद की तरफ इशारा किया गया, बहुत आम है मगर ये जुर्म है, गुनाह है, कबीरा गुनाह है। अल्लाह ताला मुझे आपको इन चारों गुनाहों से और हर गुनाह से नफरत भी अता फरमाए और हर गुनाह से बचने की भी तौफीक अता फरमाए। और आज मोहलत है, आज मोहलत है। अल्लाह ताला मुझे और आपको अपनी तरफ रुजू होने, पलटने और सच्ची तौबा करने और वाक़अतन अल्लाह और अल्लाह के रसूल अलैहिस्सलाम की इताअत की रविश पर आ जाने की तौफीक अता फरमाए। और अल्लाह ताला हम सबको इस्लाम की हालत में ज़िंदा रखे और ईमान पर खात्मा अता फरमाए। आमीन या रब्बल आलमीन। व आखिरु दावाना अनिल हम्दुलिल्लाहि रब्बिल आलमीन। वस्सलामु अलैकुम व रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातुहू।
Quran is a living miracle. Quran is a mercy for all mankind. Quran shows us the path to peace. Quran is a speech of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let us read the Holy Quran with its correct pronunciation. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, and I quote, "The most superior among you are those who learn Quran and teach it." Now you can learn the Holy Quran with our expert Quran teachers at a time and place of your convenience. Visit our website www.tehzeebtv.com. Click on Live Quran Tuition, fill the registration form and send, or call us on +4420 3289 7101. Let's hold on to Quran. It will take us to Jannah.
तहजीब टीवी नया प्रोग्राम पेश करते हैं आपका क्लिप। इस प्रोग्राम में आप अपना पसंदीदा क्लिप हमारे दिए गए नंबर पर सेंड करते हैं। हम इस क्लिप को आपके नाम और आपके शहर के नाम के साथ तहजीब टीवी पर नशर करते हैं। आपके इस क्लिप को हम तहजीब टीवी के फेसबुक पेज पर भी पोस्ट करते हैं, जहां हमारे 4 लाख से ज्यादा मेंबर्स इसको देखते हैं और कमेंट्स करते हैं। प्रोग्राम आपका क्लिप में शामिल होने के लिए हमारा नंबर नोट कीजिए 0305456101। इस नंबर को तहजीब टीवी के नाम से सेव करें और व्हाट्सएप के जरिए अपना क्लिप हम तक पहुंचाएं।
आप जो देखते हैं हम वो दिखाएंगे, आप जो सुनते हैं हम वो सुनाएंगे। तहजीब टीवी लाया आपके लिए एक नया प्रोग्राम, आपका क्लिप, जिसमें हम दिखाएंगे आपके भेजे हुए फॉरवर्डेड या रिकॉर्डेड क्लिप्स। आप
अस्सलामु अलैकुम वरहमतुल्लाहि वबरकातुहू। Alhamdulillah ala ni'matil islami wa kafa biha ni'ma. All praise and gratitude be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on his blessing of Islam, which suffices his blessing. I'd like to welcome you all. We are
जिंदगी में रोजमर्रा के मसाइल जो कि नए सवालात को जन्म देते हैं, खा वो सवाल।
Yesterday we did ayat 141 and it said tilka ummatun qad khalat laha ma kasabat wa lakum ma kasabtum wa la tusaluna ma kanu ya'malun. That was a nation that had passed away. For them it is what they have earned, and for you it is what you have earned, and you will not be questioned about what they do. So don't worry about people of the past. They are responsible for their deeds. We need to be worried about our own deeds. Sometimes we see these differences being created in Muslims today because of people who have gone in the past, and I think this ayat puts everything into the right perspective. Now, inshallah, today we will start reading about Bani Israel, the story of Bani Israel, who were the religious leaders of their time. But since they did not value, they did not honor the gifts that they had received from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so now a new nation is being born, a new nation who is united in the obedience of Allah, and hence this new nation is being given a new qibla. The qibla is being changed, the direction of prayer. So we begin the second para with the first, which is ayat number 142. سَيَقُولُ السُّفَهَاءُ مِنَ النَّاسِ مَا وَلَّاهُمْ عَنْ قِبْلَتِهِمُ الَّتِي كَانُوا عَلَيْهَا قُلِ اللَّهِ الْمَشْرِقُ وَالْمَغْرِبُ يَهْدِي مَنْ يَشَاءُ إِلَى صِرَاطٍ مُسْتَقِيمٍ. The foolish among the people will say, what has turned them away from the Qibla they were following? Say, to Allah belongs the east and the west, and He guides whoever He wishes to the straight path. So here we see Quran describing this very historical event, which was the event about the change of Qibla, and this commandment came onto our Prophet ﷺ. This ayat was revealed around 16 months after he had done hijrat from Makkah to Medina. Our Prophet ﷺ is said to be in a mosque outside Medina when these ayats were revealed, and this is now Masjidul Qiblatain, which is a masjid which has two qiblas. For those of you who have visited Medina may have also gone to this masjid. Now, when these ayahs were revealed, Muslims used to face Jerusalem while they were offering prayers. And the place where Masjid al-Aqsa is now, it wasn't there at that time. But, Kaaba, if you look at Kaaba, it's almost like in the opposite direction. So Jerusalem is on one side and Makkah and Kaaba is completely on the opposite side. This was a very significant event because until now, Jews had felt that Islam was just a faction, a kind of a sect of Judaism, because there's so much commonality in the Sharia of Jews and Muslims, so they thought that this is a common religion. But after this change of Qibla, they recognized that this was a different religion. It was not a sect of Judaism, but it had really come in as a new religion. So a new ummah, a new capital, Islam level, a new leadership is being born, and that starts in with. And we start in with the second ayat, which is ayat number 143. And thus we have made you a nation of middle way. We have made you a nation of middle way, that you are moderate, you're optimum, you're just moderation in belief, moderation in unity of Allah, that prophets were human beings, never equating them to Allah. It teaches people to do honest living. That's what moderation, which is also an ibadat. It's not a separate concept from that in Islam, that deen is separate and dunya is separate. There is a very catchy kind of advertisement. Your journey is your destination. This is whatever journey that you are going to be doing in this world, that's how your destination is going to be. So Islam is just not restricted to masjid. It's not restricted. It is there in our personal life. It is there in our business. It is there in everything that we do. So we have made you, this is the ayat that starts over here, and thus we have made you a nation of middle way, that you bear witness on people and the messenger bears witness on you. And we did not make the Qibla on which you were except to determine who follows the messenger and who turns his back upon his heel. And this was surely hard, except for those whom Allah has guided, and Allah was not going to make your faith to be fruitless. And surely Allah is full of kindness and mercy for his people. Indeed we see the turning of your face to heavens, so we will definitely turn you towards the Qibla which you like. So turn your face towards sacred, wherever you are, turn your face towards it. And surely those who have been given the book certainly know that this is the truth from their Rabb, and Allah is not heedless of what you do. Prophet had a deep love for Kaaba. He had a deep love for Kaaba, and it seems as if he was really waiting for this wahi to come in. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala refers and says, we see your turning of your face towards heavens, reminding that yes, Allah is watching and He knows how much love you have for the Kaaba. Even if you bring those who were given the book every kind of sign, they will not follow your Qibla, nor shall you follow their Qibla, nor will any of them follow the Qibla of the other. And if you follow their desire after knowledge has come to you, you will indeed be among the wrongdoers. Moral for Muslims over here is, no matter what Muslims do, no matter how much rituals of other religions we may adopt, their celebration, their mourning, their feast, their food, however we can do, but other religions will never really take up Islamic rituals. Will never. And you will see plenty of Muslims in our time, and it's really unfortunate, plenty of Muslims celebrating Christmas as it's being celebrated by the Christians, but you would never see non-Muslims celebrating Eid in the similar way. You will never see them doing that. Those to whom we have given the book recognize Him just as they recognize their sons, but a part of them indeed conceal the truth while they know. So the description of our Prophet ﷺ was clear in the book of Torah, but because of selfishness, that induced the Jews and the Christians to act against the knowledge which was there in their very book. This is the truth from your Lord, so do not be among those who are doubters. And for everyone there is a direction to which he turns. Therefore, vie with one another in good deeds. Wherever you may be, Allah will gather you, and surely Allah has power over all things. So Quran gives a very clear message. Don't waste your time in these fruitless discussions, but vie with one another in good deeds. Don't delay them. Don't hesitate performing good deeds and righteous deeds, because we just don't know how much time is left. To be honest, we just don't know how much time is left. Where you may come forth, turn your face towards the holy mosque. Indeed, it is a truth from your Lord, and Allah is not oblivious of what you do. And from wherever you may come forth, turn your face towards the sacred mosque, and wherever you are, turn your face to it, so that people have no grounds to dispute against you except those who are unjust. So do not fear them, but fear me, so that I may bestow my blessings upon you and that you may be rightly guided. So Quran's message over here, facing in one direction, creates a huge amount of unity in faith. It creates a huge amount of unity in action. It's a very powerful, Muslims lining up together, facing the Kaaba. It's a very powerful motivator. And you've seen many disbelievers who come into the fold of Islam only because they witnessed and they see Muslims doing the prayers in Jamaat. I had a friend actually in Lahore, and they were setting up a float glass factory over there some years ago. They had 19 Chinese who had come in to install this factory, and these Chinese would come, and there was these local people standing up, and 3 times in the day that they would witness people standing up in a Jamaat and praying. So after some time, one of these interpreters came to this, to the boss of this company, and he said, "Please tell me what you are doing. What is this prayer?" And when they learned about it, because they wanted to really understand, all of them converted. Not only they converted back, brought their family, they converted. And this happened in Lahore, and I was witness to this. They converted just by observing. Such is the power of Jamaat. So the message here is, you must say your prayers with Jamaat, even at your home. Even at your home, if you just have your wife and children, do a Jamaat, lead a Jamaat. I think one of the great sights that I remember seeing in Saudi Arabia, where I was for a fairly long time, was you are driving somewhere in middle of nowhere, in middle of a desert, and you see this Yukon standing over there, parked in a desert on the roadside, and you see this family just, offering their prayers. At the time of prayer, they would stop what they are doing, they would come out, offer the inspire. You immediately feel the connection with them, right? So I think that's the moral over here. Do your prayers in Jamaat. Just as we have sent down to you messenger from among yourself, who recite to you our revelations and purifies you and teaches you the book and wisdom and teaches you that which you did not know. Teaches you that which you did not know. Acquired knowledge, the worldly knowledge, needs our intelligence. We need knowledge of this world. But ilmul wahi, that's given by Allah. That's what we learn from Quran. That's what we have learned from our messenger. That's the knowledge. And what is that knowledge useful for? That knowledge is useful for us to reach the Sirat-e Mustaqim, to stay on Sirat-e Mustaqim. And Sirat-e Mustaqim is the only road which leads to paradise. Faskuruni azkurkum washkuruli wala takfurun. Remember me, Allah saying, remember me and I will remember you. And be grateful to me and do not be ungrateful. Do not be thankless. There's a hadith Qudsi, and this is the Ravi of this is Hazrat Abu Huraira Radhiyallahu Anhu. This hadith is there in Muslim as well as in Bukhari. It's a Sahih hadith. Whatever my servant expects, it's a hadith Qudsi. Whatever my servant expects from me, I respond in a similar manner. If he remembers me in his heart, I remember him in my heart. So when we remember Allah, Allah is remembering us in His heart. If he remembers me in a group, I remember him in a better gathering. If he comes towards me by a span, I advance to him by a hand. If he comes to me by a hand, I come to him by a yard. If he comes to me walking, I come to him running. I come to him running. How motivating, how encouraging. But we need to do our part. We need to remember Allah. We need to take that first step of coming close to Him. That's the challenge. That's the first thing that we need to do. Ya ayyuhallazina amanu sta'inu bis-sabri was-salah inna Allaha ma'as-sabirin. O you who believe, seek assistance through prayers and patience, patience and prayers, and surely Allah is with the steadfast. Again, we talked yesterday, sabr in category is sabr on patience, again saving oneself from the sin, and then sabr on trials and tribulation. When you face difficulties, you face that sabr, know that there is a reward from that. Again, the other part that is over here, salat. Constantly Quran is reminding us how important namaz is, how important salat is. Prayer is the very first act of worship that was made obligatory by Allah, and this obligation was directly revealed onto our Prophet ﷺ during his miraj, during the time that he went into heavens and he met Allah. So you can imagine the importance of prayer that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself giving in heavens to our Prophet ﷺ. That's how important prayers are. And do not cause those who die in Allah's ways as dead, rather they are living, but you are not aware. Honor for those who have given their life is that do not even call them dead. That's the honor. That's the high level of honor given to them. وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ وَنَقْصٍ مِّنَ الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَنفُسِ وَالثَّمَرَاتِ وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ. And certainly we shall, and hunger and loss of worldly goods and fruits of your toil, and give good news to those who are patient. الَّذِينَ أَصَابَتْهُمْ مُصِيبَةٌ قَالُوا إِنَّا لِلَّهِ وَإِنَّا إِلَيْهِ رَاجِعُونَ. Who, when afflicted with a calamity, say, surely to Allah we belong and to Him we shall return. So what Quran is stressing over here is that when we are on a way to paradise, there are bound to be difficulties. There will be difficulties that we will face. This is the price of paradise. This is the price that we need to pay in this world. It's like someone who wants to do a PhD and he says, well, give me a guarantee that there will be no hard work, there will be no exam, there will be nothing, I'll get my PhD. We'll say it's not possible. It's not will come. You will certainly be tested. You will certainly. And the same thing is for paradise. The question that often comes to our mind is, how do we really know when if we are passing through a real difficult phase in our life, is it a test from Allah or is it a punishment from Allah? How do you really judge between that? Is it a test? Is it a punishment? Well, I think the simplest thing is just compare your life before and after the trial, before and after the difficulty. If there is any change to the better, if the piety has improved, if righteousness is better, if you are doing more sadaqah, if there is improvement in you, if you are offering farz more on time, if you are offering farz, if you are offering jamaat, if you have left some sin which you thought was something difficult to do, have you come closer to Allah or have you come closer to the world? That's a test to determine whether this was a trial for you or whether this was a fitna or a difficulty that Allah had put onto you. Now, every difficulty is a trial if you come close to Allah. And this is only through salat, through namaz, and through sabr. And when we do experience any loss, when we do experience any difficulty, the first words that must come to on our tongue should be, Inna lillahi inna ilayhi raji'un. To Allah we belong, and to Him we. Now, the moment you recite this, you will see your outlook completely change. You will get that inner peace. You know you are going through a difficulty, but that there is some reward for this difficulty which is already accrued for you. That inner iman would be there, that we are going to return to Him. Whatever we have lost was not ours. This was Allah's possession. This was, Allah's will to give it to us for a short period of time. But He is certainly going to give a reward for the difficulty that we are feeling, the loss that we are bearing. Even if the light goes out. If the light goes out, you just recite Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi. See how it calms you down. You will not feel irritated. You will not feel frustrated. If your children are not doing well, recite this prayer. Recite this prayer. For every disappointment, for every defeat, make it a habit and see the change in your own behavior, in your own personality, how calm you will become. These are the people upon whom are the blessings of their Rabb and mercy, and they are on the right path. Surely Safa and Marwa are among the symbols of Allah, and whoever does Hajj or Umrah, there is no harm on him if he does tawaf of them. And who does good out of his own knowledge and knowing, and he's knowing, and he is shades. Safa and Marwa are two hills where pilgrims who go for Umrah, they would do the sa'i over there. They run between these or walk between these two mountains. Hazrat Bibi Hajra, she ran, searching for water. She was looking for any caravan that may be approaching, because she had this infant, Hazrat Ismail alayhi salam, with her, and he was thirsty. Now, this high standard of sabr that has been set by a woman is recalled every time. Every time we go for Umrah, we have to do this is an act of ibadat to go and walk between these two hills as a reminder of the great sabr that was done by Bibi Hajra, and it is necessary for completion of Umrah. Indeed, those who conceal what we have sent down of manifest proof and guidance, after we have clarified it in the book for mankind, they shall have a curse of Allah and the curse of all the cursers. So Allah's curse is really exclusion from His grace and being distant from Him. And then make it known to them that I am the acceptor of repentance, the merciful. Surely those who disbelieve and die while they are in a state of disbelief, these are the one on whom is the curse of Allah and the angels and of all mankind. They shall remain in it forever, and their punishment shall not be lightened, nor shall they get any respite. Your Allah is one Allah. There is no God except Him, the All Beneficent, the All Merciful. إن في خلق السماوات والأرض واختلاف الليل والنهار والفلك التي تجري في البحر بما ينفع الناس وما أنزل الله من السماء من ماء فأحيا به الأرض بعد موتها وبث فيها من كل دابة وتصريف الرياح والسحاب المسخر بين السماء والأرض لآيات لقوم يعقلون. Now, this is really a magnificent portion of Quran. It reminds many of the creations of Allah over here. This ayat 164 of Surah Al-Baqarah. Surely in the creation of the heavens and the earth, and the ships which sail upon the sea for the profit of mankind, and the water that Allah sends down from the sky, then He gives life with it to the earth after its death, and the spreading of the beast and the changing of the winds, and the clouds subservient between the heavens and the earth, there are signs for people who understand. Now, this is such a beautiful call to people. Quran's call to man to use his reasoning ability, observe the wonders of nature. They speak of a conscious and a creative power that is prevailing in the universe. This is the philosophy of Quran. The philosophy of Quran as a reminder, as a zikra. It's a reminder because it prompts people, it strikes a chord of these blessings of Allah. Ponder over the creation of heavens and earth. Think about the wind. Think about the clouds. Think about the rain giving property. Think about how rain gives life to the dead earth. Man is very forgetful. That's one of the nature of man. He's forgetful. And sometimes when these are common observations, the rain and the cloud and revival of the earth, we don't think about them. And hence Quran reminds us. Because when we become conscious of this, when we become conscious of all this creative power of Allah, we recognize Him and we become grateful to Him and we become thankful to our Creator. So when as a Muslim we look at these signs are to bring us closer to Allah. This is marfat of Allah. This is how we reach to Allah. So that we bow down to Him in awe and in fear and not in forced slavery. And there are among men who take themselves object of worship besides Allah, whom they love as they should love Allah. They take objects of worship that Allah had created, whom they love as they should love Allah. And those who have faith are stronger in their love for Allah. If only the unjust see, when they see the suffering, that to Allah belongs all the power, and Allah is severe in punishment. So forgetting the Creator and loving the creation of the Creator. And in loving the creation, forgetting the Creator altogether. Please remember that really instructing us is that no love for the Creator should be above the love for Allah. It should really not compete for our love for Allah. And when those who are followed will disown their followers, and they will say, and they will cite the punishment, while all the means of recourse will be cut off, the followers will say, had there been another chance for us, we would disown them as they disown us now. Thus shall Allah show them their deeds as regret for themselves, and they shall not leave the fire. So deep feeling of regret on the day of judgment. There will be no intercessor. There will be no one to come and protect us. They will feel guilty. They will helpless. They can go back to the earth once again. They can go back and lead a righteous life, because they assume that these people, it is through them they will get through them that they will get intercession, while there is no such case, as Quran makes it ample many times. Ya ayyuhan nasu kulu mimma fil ard halalan tayyiban wa la tattabi'u khutuwati shaytan innahu lakum aduwwun mubin. O mankind, eat of what is lawful and pure in the earth, and do not follow the shaitan's footsteps. Indeed, he is your manifest enemy. So ibadat is not just prayers. Ibadat is not just fasting or just performing Hajj. Even eating is an ibadat. Therefore, for this ibadat of eating, we all need guidance from Allah. So Allah says, as a guidance, eat the halal and tayyib. And what is the difference between halal and tayyib? There may be some things which are halal, but not tayyib for someone. Like someone has diabetes, for him, sugar is halal, but certainly not tayyib. It's not wholesome for such people. And you can see the beauty of Islam, that it doesn't make everything halal for, haram for everyone. It says everything is halal except a few things, but they may not be tayyib for you. So think what is tayyib for you when you're choosing the food. Choose the right food. And do not follow the footsteps of the shaitan, for shaitan commands you to sue. What is sue? Sue is anything which is something that is harmful. Fahsha, shamefulness, obscenity, lewdness, these to our soul. They'll make our soul sick. But the first and foremost is begin with halal earning. Build your body strong with halal earning, with clean and wholesome food, with tayyib food. And remember that if the earnings are from unlawful means or from dishonesty, they will make our ruh sick. They will cause sickness in our ruh. And also remember that the very first sin that was committed was linked to food. And this is where Hazrat Adam alayhi salam slipped, and he ate the forbidden fruit in paradise, in the heavens. And he only prompts you to commit, which means the shaitan only prompts you to commit evil and indecent acts, and that you attribute to Allah what you do not know. So shaitan actually puts desire in people. That's what Quran is telling us. He puts desires in people for what has been prohibited. Anything Allah prohibits, shaitan will make that go and indulge in those things. So it prompts people to indulge in things which lead people to sin and to shameful deeds. And when they are told, follow what Allah has sent down, they say, we would rather follow what we found our forefathers following. Even if their fathers neither applied any reason nor were guided. And the parable of those who disbelieve is the parable of one who hears no more than a call and a cry, deaf, dumb, blind, so they shall not use their reason. So this is a reminder that sometimes human behavior is just to follow their urge, just to follow their desires. Even when they know the harmful consequences of what they are doing, people still continue to follow their desires. Like people know the harmful effect of smoking. They know smoking causes death, it causes early death, it causes cancer, yet they continue to indulge in it because this is that urge and desire that is there in people. O you who have faith, eat of the good things we have provided you and thank Allah if it is worship. إنما حرم عليكم الميتة والدم ولحم الخنزير وما أحل به لغير الله فمن اضطر غير باغ ولا عاد فلا إثم عليه إن الله غفور رحيم. He has forbidden on you carrion and flesh of swine and that over which any name other than Allah has been invoked. But whoever is forced by necessity without willful disobedience, no sin is upon them, and surely Allah is forgiving and merciful. So first and foremost, this ayat talks about prohibition of eating meat of animal which has died before it has been slaughtered. I think we all are aware of that. Any animal which has been, and also any animal which has been slaughtered to seek pleasure of anyone else besides Allah is forbidden, like any animal slaughtered at a grave. So if the animal is released or as a mannat or a nazar, it is also forbidden. So if anyone's name is taken on a food, if name of anyone besides Allah is invoked on food, such food is haram for Muslim. Food dedicated to anyone other than Allah is impermissible. So be very careful when you are invited to niyaz or food which is dedicated to some pious people. Such food in which name of others have been taken, as Quran makes it very clear, the name of Allah other than Allah has been invoked. Such food is in the same category as meat of a swine or meat of a dead animal. Indeed, those who conceal what Allah has sent down of the book and sell it for a paltry gain, they shall not take into their bellies anything except fire, and Allah shall not speak to them on the day of resurrection, nor shall He purify them, and there is a painful punishment for them. These are the ones who have exchanged error for guidance and suffering for forgiveness, yet how patient they are upon fire. How patient they are on fire. Choices are, what Quran is telling us is, look, the choice is yours. Be patient on the difficulties of this world, or in the hereafter, be patient on the fire. Make your call. Choose the option. The difficulties of this world, you have to be patient upon the fire. So that is so because Allah sent down the book with truth, and those who differ about the book will are surely in extreme defiance. Righteous is not that you turn your face towards east and west, but righteousness is that you believe in Allah and the last day and the angels and the books and the prophets, and give wealth out of the love of Him. The nearkins and the orphans and the needy and the wayfarer and those who ask, and for redeeming necks, freeing of slaves, and to be steadfast in prayers and give zakat and fulfill the covenants which you have made, and to be patient in adversity and affliction, hardship, in the times of conflict. These are the people who are truthful, and these are the people who are God-fearing. This is a definition of a muttaqi. And Quran actually negates all these very superfluous and limited concepts of righteousness. This ayat, which is ayat number 177, is also called ayat bir, which means righteousness itself. A very limited concept of righteousness that we be having. It may be one-dimensional. So instead of a one-dimensional concept, Islam here, Quran is actually providing us a very comprehensive and a multi-dimensional concept. So what the Quran says is, it is belief in Allah, in the prophets, in the angels, in the book, and then immediately after that, it is spending on poor, spending on needy, and then it talks about being steadfast in prayer. Remember, righteousness cannot be divided in watertight compartments. It must permeate. It must infuse in all aspects and all spheres of our life. O you who believe, retaliation in the law of equality is prescribed for you in the matter of murder, the free for the free, the slave for the slave, the female for the female. But if remission is made to anyone by his brother, then this shall be adhered to with fairness, and payment made to him with kind gratitude. This is a concession from your Rabb and a mercy. So whoever exceeds the limit after this shall have a painful doom. So life for you in retribution, in revenge. There is life for you in retribution. O you who possess intellect, maybe you will fear Allah. So diyat or blood money, as these ayahs are talking about, is decided by the court, by the court of the country, and punishment is also given by the court, not by individual. At personal level, there is a right to forgive the murderer, or to take blood money by the inheritors, but this is not in case of a culpable homicide, which is intentional murder. Prescribed for you when death approaches any of you and he leaves behind any property is that he makes a will for his parents and relatives in an honorable manner, an obligation for those who fear Allah. So Quran's hukum on will, and this was revealed before the laws of inheritance were made clear in Surah Nisa, fixed share, where the fixed share will be given to the inheritors, and that is legislated by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But after the detailed commandments of inheritance, now up to 1/3 of your wealth, 1/3 of your wealth can be willed, and the will becomes operative after death, do not get the share from inheritance. Whoever then alters it after he has heard it, the sin of it then is upon those who alter, and surely Allah is all hearing and all knowing. But if one has reason to fear partiality or sin, then makes a correction between them, there is no harm on him. Surely Allah is forgiving and merciful. O you who have faith, prescribed for you is fasting as it was prescribed for those before you, so that you may fear Allah. So now the hukum of fasting is coming over here, and Allah says this is not just you. Other earlier nations also had similar fasting for a certain number of days. But whoever among you is sick or on a journey, complete the prescribed numbers from a later day. Those who have strength means ability to pay, to compensate by feeding a poor. So whoever does good more out of his will, it is better for him, and that you fast is better if you know. If someone cannot fast because of old age or because of disease or something, instead of fasting, they can feed a poor person. This also applies to women who are expecting and they have large number of fasts which they have not kept. شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصم. And the month of Ramadan, in which Quran was revealed, a guidance for people and a clear proof of guidance. So whoever is present during this month shall fast, and whoever is sick or on a journey, then fast, completing the number on other days. Allah desires ease for you, and He does not desire difficulty, that you may complete the number and that you may exalt the greatness of Allah for His having guided you, and so that you may be grateful. So beginning of this Shahru Ramazan allazi unzila fihi al-Quran, that the glorious Quran was sent down in this book. That's why it says so much of emphasis of reading as much can possibly read it during this month, because this is the month where the beginning of the revelation of Quran started. For a healthy person who's not traveling, there is no choice for him. He has to fast or he cannot pay the fidya. And when my servants ask you concerning me, certainly I am near. I respond to the prayer of the caller there and then, whenever he may call me. So then he must also respond to my call and have faith in me, that they may follow the right way. So Quran here reminds us that we may become ghafil, we may become heedless about our Rabb, but our Allah is not ghafil about us. He's not heedless about us. He never ignores us. It is permitted for you to approach your wives on the night of fast. They are your garments and you are their garment. And Allah is aware that you were unfaithful to yourselves. So He has turned to you and forgiven you. Now associate with them and seek what Allah has ordained for you. Eat and drink until the white thread comes night at dawn. Then complete the fast till night, and do not associate with them when you are in itikaf in the mosque. These are the limits imposed by Allah, so do not go near them. Thus Allah makes clear His revelation so that people may remain conscious. So Quran here highlights the very close relationships between a husband and a wife, and likes it like a garment. That's how this relationship, that's how that close relationship is. Purpose of garment, we know it makes us look good. We want to adorn ourselves, we put nice garments also protect us, and we protect them. And how exposed we would feel if our garments are inadequate. If our garments are inadequate, we will see so much exposed. They hide our defects, they hide our blemish. The same thing also applies in a relationship between a husband and a wife. Next, the purpose of a garment, adornment. And a husband and a wife should also help each other to beautify each other, to overcome the weakness, and they become much better people because of the strong relationship that they have. Another purpose of garment is comfort, protection. One cannot do without them. The same is true for a relationship between a husband and a wife. This is such a special relationship, so much closeness in this relationship. Hence, it must be cherished. We must also thank Allah for this relationship. We really must thank Allah and also try our level best to protect this relationship. And do not devour one another's possessions wrongfully, neither seek to gain access to those in possession with a view to swallow up a part of possession of other people while you know. So this is a test of taqwa. How do we know that we have taqwa? Stay away from financial irregularity. This ayat strongly prohibits bribing. You know, in societies where bribe becomes common, justice just becomes a commodity. Law is bought and sold, and this is strongly prohibited in Quran. And they ask you concerning the new moon, say there are times appointed for people for houses from the back, but righteousness is that you are conscious of Allah. Enter houses through proper doors and remain conscious of Allah, so that you may prosper. Quran throws out all superstitions. You know, this was a superstition. People would, on the sighting of the new moon, they would not enter their homes from the front door. They would go at the back and jump the wall and enter from behind. So entering from the bank behind was considered to be a righteous act on sighting of the new moon. Such superstitions were there for, on new moon. There are many superstitions on full moon and on the new moon. Islam is such a straightforward religion. It has no room for such fantasies. Quran says moon has an important bearing in Islam, in Islamic Sharia, because the iddat of women is decided from of the moon setting and of the new moon, and weaning of the period of a child, Hajj, Zakat, Ramadan, all these things are dependent on the moon, and so therefore this must be it must be seen only as something which is, we have to depend on a calendar. So all these rituals. Fighting in the way of Allah, fight in the way of Allah those who fight you, but do not transgress, for indeed Allah does not love the transgressors. And kill them wherever you confront them, and expel them from where they expelled you. And oppression is graver than killing, but do not kill them near the holy mosque unless they fight with you. But if they fight you, kill them. Such is a reward for the disbeliever. This is a law of equality in punishment, an eye for an eye. The aim is not dominance, but the aim is elimination of oppression, the elimination of zulm. But even in this, fighting in the sacred area is prohibited, except that if it is in self-defense. But if they cease, then Allah is indeed all forgiving and all merciful. Fight them until there is no oppression, and deen is for Allah. But if they cease, let there be no hostility except against oppressors. Sacred months, a sacred month for a sacred month, for a violation of sanctity is just retribution. Then it commits aggression against you. Accordingly, similar aggression you may commit on them, but remain conscious of Allah and know that Allah is with those who are conscious of Him. Don't be the first to declare war in these months, which are the sacred months, but you are allowed to defend. But even in war, don't leave your taqwa. Don't even leave your taqwa even in war. Spending in the way of Allah, and spend in the way of Allah, and do not throw yourself with your hands into destruction. Do good. Indeed, Allah loves the virtuous. So Quran here warning us is that not spending for the sake of Allah is throwing ourselves into our own destruction. We become slaves of this world, and we will face the consequences in the next world. Freedom has a steep price, and that price has to be paid. And complete your Hajj and Umrah for Allah, but if you are prevented, sending whatever offering is easy to obtain, and do not shave your heads until the offering reaches its destination. But whoever among you is sick or has an ailment of the head shall redeem. Then when you are in peace, whoever takes the advantage to continue the Umrah onto the Hajj, he must make a suitable sacrifice. But if he cannot find, then he should fast for 3 days during Hajj and 7 days after returning back, thus making 10 days complete. This is for those whose family is not present in Masjid-e-Haram. And remain conscious of Allah and know that Allah is severe in retribution and punishment. A basic instruction is that once people have put on Ihram, now they have to perform Umrah. It becomes a farz. But what if for some reason one cannot perform Umrah? The flight gets cancelled. The sickness takes over. What to do? So this is explained over here, because this happened in the 6th year of Hijrat, when Muslims also went for Umrah, and they were stopped at Hudaybiyah, and they opened their Ihram and then they gave the fidya. So this is also applied, here. Then if they have to cut their hair, open their ihram, they have to fast or give fidya, as being said over here, 3 days during Hajj and 7 days on returning back to complete the 10 days. Months of Hajj are known, so whoever undertakes to perform Hajj, there should be no obscenity and no disobedience and no fighting during Hajj. And whatever good you do, Allah knows it. And to take provision with you, but the best provision is taqwa, and remain conscious of me, O men of understanding. So further in the earlier ayahs, three things are prohibited for those who are doing Hajj or also Umrah while they're in a state of ihram. Relationship between a husband and a wife, that's the first, that's not permitted. Fusuk, which is disobedience of Allah, meaning any commandment which is regarding the prohibition of ihram. Once you put on the ihram, there are certain things you cannot do, which includes hunting, etc., cutting off hair. And then the thing is jidal, fighting or arguing in a state of. It seems when people travel a long distance and they gear for Hajj and Umrah, and there are delays, and people get sometimes people get shortchanged because the bus arrive on time. Things happen over there, right? And this causes frustration, and people become irritated, and then people become angry. And this is exactly the time when you need to be patient. You need to be conscious of the fact that Allah said no fighting, no arguing in a state of ihram. It is not a sin if you ask the bounty of your Rabb. Then when you return from Arafat, then remember Allah near the sacred mountain, and remember Him as He guided you. Though before you indeed were among those who were misguided. First and foremost, commercial transaction, buying and selling, permitted during Hajj. And Hajj is really Arafat, the 9th of Zil Hajj. For going to Arafat, that's where Hajj is. Without Arafat, there is no Hajj. And Arafat starts from dawn till sunset, and that must be performed. That's a ritual of Hajj. And then you return from where other people return and seek Allah's forgiveness. Surely Allah is forgiving and merciful. And when you have performed the rites, celebrate the praise of Allah, glorify Him as you praise your forefathers, rather with greater praise. And there are people who say, Our Rabb, give us in this world, and they shall have no portion in the hereafter. We do the last ayah for this third talk. وَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ يَقُولُ رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. And there are among them who say, Our Rabb, grant us the good of this world and the good in the hereafter, and save us from the torment of fire. A very balanced prayer. A very balanced prayer, asking for the good of this world and the good of hereafter. Prayer, we must pray. We may pray for all the good aspects of our life, that our well-being. May Allah give us sufficient provision. May He give us beneficial knowledge. May He make us people of good deeds. May He make our life comfortable. May He make our life free of sin. Equally, we must ask for the hereafter, that Allah give us the highest position in paradise. Give us the safety from the horror of hell. Make our questioning light. Make no hisab for us. So this is a prayer we often ask. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanatan wa fil akhirati wa hasanatan wa qina azaban nar. It's a beautiful prayer, and with this prayer we end this talk over here. Barakallahu lana wa lakum fil Quran al-Azim wa nafana wa iyyakum bil ayati wa zikril hakim.
मामलात के हों, माशरत के हों या मईशत के, हमें हर सवाल के जवाब के लिए रहनुमाई चाहिए।
हर रजुल मोमिन, हर एक मुसलमान को ये एक उसूल बना लेना चाहिए कि कोई भी काम वो करे, क्या इसका दीनी एतबार से मुझे कोई फ़ायदा होगा।